Hello, all. Welcome back. Firstly, I would like to thank each one of you for watching and enjoying the previous conversation. I hope you're doing safe and are sane in this current scenarios. Before we start into our today's conversation, I would like to share that situations are not that great in the country, so requesting each one of you to avoid social gathering, wear masks whenever you're going out, and take care of yourself. This conversation start is a start to our southern region journey, right? In all our previous conversation of volunteering is love, you would have seen guests from my friends from across India. But the next few episodes or next few conversation would be very interesting because here we'll be capturing few cities from southern part of India. And to begin with, one of the most youthful city of India, which is Bangalore. And in Bangalore, I have a good number of friends and volunteers who have been inspiring me in this journey. So to have a discussion or to discuss about their volunteering life and volunteering journey, today I have two of my dear friend. One individual is a very soft-spoken individual, and other individual is the contrasting personality to it. So, join me in welcoming both my guests for the today, Neha and Saurabh. Hi, Neha. Hi, Saurabh. Hi, hi. How are you guys?
I am good. How are you?
I'm good too. Thank you.
I'm good, okay.
Thanks, Saurabh, for sharing. Firstly, Saurav and Neha, I would like to share our gratitudes and thanks to you that you guys have joined us in this conversation and helping us to share your stories and making sure that the articulation what we'll be doing get people get inspired through your stories and your journeys. So thank you so much for being here and part of this conversation.
Thank you, AK, for inviting us.
Yeah, thanks, Neha. Thanks, Saurav. So Neha, Saurav, so let's start the conversation. Uh, we would like to hear your childhood journey first. Like, where were you born? How did your schooling happen? What is your education background, and what are you doing right now in your professional space?
I was born in Bangalore, but moved to a lot of places since my father was in banking sector. So totally, I have been in 7 educational institutes from my nursery to my graduation. So again, I'm back to Bangalore, and I did my graduation. I chose engineering, and like most of Indians, and my specialization is electronics and instrumentation. Then currently, I'm working with the R&D team for a startup, healthcare startup, and I also have my own startup. That's
Nice,
about me.
nice. That's
Wow.
great, Neha.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's great. Yeah, okay. So I am born in Kanpur, raised in Kanpur. I have done engineering like like every other Indian. So yeah, I did my engineering in information technology, and then I worked for IBM as a SAP consultant for 7 years. And then during COVID times, I enrolled it for the master's program with Narsi Monji Institute for MBA in general management. And then I recently switched my job to Deloitte. So now I'm presently working with Deloitte as a risk and finance consultant.
wow.
So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Before starting or getting into your journey, Neha and Saurav, I would like to know, have you ever heard any volunteering story from your family members or peers? Uh, and was there any inspiration before you started your volunteering journey?
Volunteering stories I haven't heard from my family as such. Like volunteering, like I have understood what is the meaning of volunteering after I moved to Bangalore and I when I joined Bhumi.
Okay.
But my family in general is very generous. Like my father especially is very kind. So and my uncles, everybody in my house, if at all we see somebody suffering or going through some loss or something financial mental, we are there for people. So that is something that was there in my family. So that kindness, empathy, compassion was always there. It's like a given inhabited thing that I have got it from my family members. But volunteering as such, no, there was no concept of volunteering that I'm going out there and teaching kids or nothing like that. In
Hmm.
fact, I think I was not aware that I was volunteering, but I started teaching my maid's kid very early age.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
I was good in academics from the beginning. Like I was always busy person. I was always used to focus on my studies. So my maid auntie used to come and she's like, "Beta, बच्चे पढ़ते नहीं हैं, उनको tuition नहीं मिलता है, or they're not getting good like facilities अच्छी नहीं मिल रही." तो I used to be like कि मेरे पास जो भी free time है, and if I'm capable of it, let me just invest my time. So I used to do that on a regular basis. I literally made two of the kids write their exams, 10th board exams, when I myself was in 12th standard. So I started doing all this at a very early age, but I did not know that I was volunteering or something, because it was something that I'm not anything, I was not expecting anything in return. I was just doing
Hmm.
it, selfless task sort of thing. And then my family also always encouraged it, because when you see the results, like they appreciate everything. Like helping someone who is in need, that always motivated me. And plus it also used to give me additional satisfaction that I have done something good for someone. So that is the reason I started applying for college. So from in college days, there used to be all these donation camps, blood camps, all those things used to happen. So I was not physically so fit to give my blood. So I thought maybe okay, I should choose something where I'm actually good at. Because if you go and try to donate blood, they always take your they always check whether you are capable of giving blood or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
So study was my safe space, because I was good in academics and I felt connected to it, because I can teach very well. If I'm good at something, I can teach very well. So that I found my safe space, and I always chose this part. Like even in college areas, with like in final year till third year, you don't get time. You have assignments and all those stuff. In fourth year, with few of my friends, five of us, we started visiting Kanpur slum areas, and we kind of met a lot of principals, teachers, and we started teaching them. So
Hmm.
at that time, the concept of MAD and Teach for India was unknown to Kanpur. It was like
Hmm.
not very people, all the principals were not aware of it. So we wanted to introduce the idea that okay, all the people like us who are studying, like, or who are good at maths or who have some degrees, will come and teach these kids, because they are not getting that sort of exposure. Because the teachers that they were being taught with, they were not very well educated teachers as well. They were very like normal, बच्चों को पढ़ाना, normal चीजें आना. They were not educating. They was just it was more like a livelihood stuff for them.
Hmm.
कि हाँ
Hmm.
हम जा रहे हैं वहां
Yeah.
पे, और बच्चे बच्चों का जो टाइम होता है वो बहुत ही लर्निंग स्पेस में, अगर उनको अच्छी फैसिलिटीज मिल जाए, दे लर्न वेरी फास्ट.
Correct.
तो या सो कानपुर में the principals accepted our ideas in the slum areas, of course, not in the big schools, and we taught it for about 5-6 months.
Wow.
And that's when the reality hits, and we all had to go back to our the offers came in, because we also studied. Our parents started asking us, अच्छा ठीक है, अब जॉब मिल गया, अब तुम लोग जॉब के लिए जाओ. So in between, I happened to be a part of this Jagrati Yatra. So
Correct.
like I said, I have a curious mind, and I'm never sitting quiet. So at that time in 2012, I applied for Jagrati Yatra, and I went there, and that's where I met a lot of people from the
Hmm.
social background. Like that's when my mind opened. Like okay, there are so many things to explore. And I met Bhargav there, who was the core team member of
Yeah.
Bhumi at that time. And then I understood about Bhumi. So because I had an offer letter from Bangalore, I was like, that was my next target.
Yeah.
Because then I saw that sea of opportunity in terms of teaching.
Correct. Correct.
So that's how volunteering term came in my life. And as soon as I landed in Bangalore, 2013 is when I started working. And 1 year it took some time for me to settle in. And then I enrolled into Bhumi. And then 2015, early 2015 is when I started teaching. So that's how volunteering, and ever since I was busy with, until COVID, I was busy with Bhumi, like you guys know already. So like
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
that time
Before.
until COVID, yeah, I was
Yeah.
busy
Yeah. I'll just pause you over here because with the journey of Bhumi, we'll get into that detail in some time. So, sort of any such experience for you before you started your volunteering share?
Yeah, so my mother was part of guides, like scouts and guides. So she used to tell the stories of that. And even my father was like kind of socially active when he was youth, he was into this youth clubs like JCI and all. So I've heard stories like they used to go to hospitals, help people. But volunteering term I didn't know still I grew up. And one more advantage or like how it started uh, inclination started towards the social causes because I moved a lot of places and met different people, right? So uh, it was like kind of good opportunity to understand others' perspective and like what one place is better and why the others are suffering or like
Mm,
why do they lack. So that thing keep on bothering me. And volunteering, I guess, uh, in engineering I had a lot of time, like after third year you get like kind of lot of time to spend. And the youth, when we are young, we have this thing like people will be complaining about education system should be this that. And even I was like that, like till 12th, like why are teachers teaching like this when they can teach better, right? And at one point I realized that it's time, like you have to like contribute something instead of like just complaining, or like at least give it a try, like not change but give it a try. That's how I started volunteering. And even in school I was the school president, so that kind of bought like either fix problems or at least hear the problems of my fellow classmates.
mm. And we can totally visualize you being the school president, Saurabh. Like with the discipline you come, and with the skills you come. Yeah, you have that leadership capabilities out there and to display always. So yeah. So how did this volunteering journey started? Like Neha has covered that it started in her very
Yeah.
childhood days. And how about you, Saurabh?
So for me, volunteering was not mainly towards the social cause initially, but I was mainly involved in school activities, like volunteer
Hmm.
for the events or something. And I was kind of good in tech, so I used to try to solve problems from the childhood through tech. Like um, I I was good in robotics, so my idea was like build robots which could help farmers or something. So I did that, but that's how I started towards the social sector. But the volunteering journey started during school events. Maybe we had like small clubs, so cleanliness drives within the city or like awareness drives. That's how it started. But then Bhumi happened. I went with the open mind. Then there was no reason of leaving volunteering. So it was
Hmm.
just, I started quite late, I would say, not like Neha, early age.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so both of you, like in many ways, Neha's volunteering journey was more of knowing the organization much more and then entering into the organization, wherein Bhumi was providing you that space of your likeliness and your love for robots and AI, and hence
Yeah.
both of you joined the organization. Uh, Any first memory of the organization or first memory of your first day of volunteering at Bhumi? Any such memories?
Yeah, for me it was like I researched a lot of different organizations, but Bhumi was one particular organization which had like variety of teaching. Like it was not core subjects, but also extracurricular things, right? Like n- most of the organization concentrates on hardcore subjects like science, English, maths. But whereas Bhumi had computers, robotics, science,
Yeah, yeah.
sports, and also arts. So robotics was something I was good at, and it was like this is the place to be. Then when I joined Bhumi, I enrolled. I missed the first orientation. Then I didn't know how the orientation would be like. Then I was quite like 10 or 15 minutes late to the second orientation. Like I got a reminder message again after a week. Then I joined. Then I see some 30, 40 people in a room, and most of them elder to me. And that too on a weekend, like around 10-ish or something. And when I started speaking to people, like people left an impression. That was kind of, I was like, this is a good thing I chose. Then after a couple of weeks was my first class, and I started teaching this a school. It was an all girls school, and when they started calling you Anna, and it was more like not a teacher and student thing, right? Like even I was in my college, and someone calls you like Anna and starts listening to you. That was quite like it left an impression. And from then on, it wasn't like I was teaching for my satisfaction. It was mainly for the students over there. It was like kind of selfish also. I used to like spending time with them. It wasn't like only me teaching them or something, but there was a lot to learn from their side as well. So it
Hmm.
was a first class and first orientation are two things like people, volunteers, and the students. That's what made like the impression about the volunteering.
Yeah, near your first memory.
My first memory, with orientation, I was quite okay because I kind of understood how the orientation, because I was already I understood the meaning of orientation because corporate interviews and all that I had already been through. First memory, which is still, which is very, there are a lot of memories, please understand, but the first memory which right now striked, my first class, and I did not know it, the kids are going to be from multiple language background.
Oh,
The first center which was assigned to me was Thai Money Center, and there are kids from all the different regions.
correct.
Okay, yeah. So first of all, I am new to Bangalore. I myself don't know Kannada very well. Okay, and I went there and I'm meeting kids from the kids who are speaking Tamil, Hindi, Urdu, Malayalam, Kannada, all sorts of language. Okay,
Hmm.
and Hindi. Matlab, there were like maybe one or two kids, and they majorly were from Northeast also. So I got a class of maybe I think 40-50 kids because Thaimane is a huge center. And
Correct.
I am there and it's my first class. Okay. And so I was asked to teach for an hour. Okay. And in that 1 hour, I don't know how to communicate. Okay. The entire 1 hour was just about greetings. So I went there
Hmm.
to teach English. Other than English, I think I learned a lot of things how to greet people first because I thought I am good at teaching, but when I went there, I came out of the room like, Neha, you need to work on your teaching skills first. You need to you need to understand how to handle the kids first. So
Hmm.
that was very, and I went back with a headache because I was embarrassed because I was not able to control the kids, controlling in the sense if
Hmm.
the shouting, I learned it eventually, but my first class was like, think again whether you want to teach. So it was a very memorable experience, but at the end, even though I was not able to handle the kids, when I went out of when I like the class was over and I was out of the room, all the kids, whatever language they knew, they all greeted me with a sweet smile, when will be your next visit.
Hmm.
I was thinking I'm not able to deliver it, but then they were expecting when is it going to be a next visit. So and that is the reason that center is still close to my heart because it was first center, and all those kids they are grown up now. They all remember me.
Wow.
So that is something. Yeah, the first memory like with volunteering with Bhumi. Yeah, that is the first memory still there. And you guys have met Thai Money kids, right?
Yeah.
Both
Yeah,
of
I
you.
have. I
Yeah.
have.
So they
Yeah.
all are very, very chatty, more than me. So when you, when you meet chatty people more than you, then you realize, okay, you need to work on
Yeah.
it.
And you can relate relate to those kids as
I
well,
could
right?
totally relate. I'm like, oh God. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it was sweet.
Your vast volunteering experience, how important do you think consistency and discipline should be there in a volunteer?
Yeah, I feel it's quite important. Like, uh, I I understood this when even in during our school days, there used to be some other teacher coming and teaching you, right? Like, and we know that it takes time for us to adjust from that teacher to another teacher, and we just go once in 1 week and one maximum 2 hours, and there is some new volunteer coming, and you are not there, and the it's not that you might be occupied, but the kids lose a lot. Like they lose a week uh, of education. Like we just go for a week, and uh, so that's how I think it's quite important. Even now, I ask the volunteers to Ignite volunteers. It's important to be regular because it might not make a difference for us, but it really makes a difference towards the kids' growth.
Hmm. 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 Yeah, your thoughts?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And
I,
one more thing I would add.
Yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
And
Yeah.
you know, more than discipline, it's the bonding thing. What happens, like if you don't go to 1 week, the kid starts asking, "Why didn't you come last week?" So you kind of get a guilty feeling that someone was waiting for you and you didn't show up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hmm. Yeah, that's also the bonding is so important, right?
Yeah.
Especially in education and in teaching volunteering, like that's very one of the pillar I would say essential part. Yeah, Neha, your thoughts?
yeah. Like throughout my volunteering journey, I found consistency should be the topmost priority.
Hmm.
I mean, when you're going for teaching, especially, like Bhumi offers a lot of variety of volunteering experiences, right? And what happens? One should not go with this mindset that okay, I'm just volunteering. ओके आज पढ़ाई नहीं कराते हैं आज कुछ और कर लेते हैं आई हैव सीन अ लॉट ऑफ लाइक आई हैव सीन एटीट्यूड्स ऑफ पीपल लाइक दैट it shouldn't be like that if you are picking up volunteering as especially teaching or any a task for that matter if you are picking it up I think we should always focus on finishing it.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Right. So if you are any, that's why the program, the Bhumi program is also designed. If you're an Ignite volunteer, your topmost priority should always be teaching. And then
Correct.
you probably go to other events or other activities. But I think people kind of do not, those who are not dedicated will never be able to understand this part, right?
Hmm.
Because
Hmm.
we, like Saurabh said, you have a particular program, I mean, like the curriculum, right, for 6 months. But then if there is a disbalance between the teacher, it becomes difficult for us to deliver it to the students because
Correct.
we are forgetting the major reason, the bonding part,
Correct. Correct.
right? So I am good with my best teachers. I'm comfortable with my teachers. But if like in our school days also, if there used to be a ad hoc class, the main teacher hasn't come and there is an ad hoc teacher, we know what is the importance of that ad hoc teacher. It used
Hmm.
to be a free class, right? So that's how a kid takes you. Like that's how they for that particular day you are nothing but a joker. You are
True.
just there for an ad hoc class. You might be very interesting. They'll just take you as a हाँ आज वो class नहीं है आज ये है. Let's just take it as an entertainment. Wherein
Hmm.
if the same teacher comes back in, the kids will also know that okay that there will be some follow up. Whatever was taught in the previous class will be asked.
True,
So
true.
all this type of sincerity should be there for all the teachers.
And with the discipline, there's one, like volunteering is one, discipline is another. And I see it's a pattern, or it's a bridge, right? If you are disciplined and you're consistent, there is high chances you would like to lead something, or you would like to take up the baton. For Saurav and Neha, when did you realize that you have to pick up the baton and take the project or the city forward? And what was that one decision, or what made you decide that I want to be a leader?
So so my journey with Bhumi was very gradual. Okay,
Correct.
I was volunteer for good 3 years, and
Yeah.
when I was teaching, so being a volunteer, I can do my part. I can be regular. I can just focus on my kids. The whoever's been assigned to me, I can just focus on their performance, and then be satisfied and mentally prepare some plan for them. But what happened when in 2 years, I told you earlier, right? I did not see any result. So that's where, with the help of my co-volunteers, I was like, जो भी हम पढ़ा रहे हैं उसका रिजल्ट हमें क्यों नहीं मिल रहा? तो वो क्यूरियोसिटी, एक आप कोई भी काम करते रहते हो और अगर आप बहुत ही लाइक डेडिकेटेड होके कर रहे हो, देन यू विल बी लाइक, हाँ अच्छा ये नहीं हो रहा, तो लेट मी जस्ट लुक इनटू इट, क्या प्रॉब्लम आ रही है. देन आई गॉट इन टच विद अदर सेंटर्स के लोगों के और अदर वॉलंटियर्स के साथ मिलना शुरू किया, वहां की क्या प्रॉब्लम है. तो हर जगह की कलेक्टिव प्रॉब्लम यही आ रही थी कि जब मैं इंग्लिश पढ़ा रही थी तो हर जगह की कलेक्टिव प्रॉब्लम यही आ रही थी कि लैंग्वेज प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है. हर जगह पे, हर हर सेंटर पे बच्चे अपनी अपनी लैंग्वेज में समझते थे, और इंग्लिश में कोई भी इम्प्रूवमेंट नहीं आ रही थी. और आज हम पढ़ा रहे हैं, एंड जो इंग्लिश का जो हमारा ब्रैकेट था, दैट वाज अंटिल 6th स्टैंडर्ड. सो बियॉन्ड 5th बच्चे फिर हम उनको पढ़ा रहे, तो हम उनमें कोई इम्प्रूवमेंट भी नहीं कर पा रहे, और देन किड्स आर लिविंग अस. सो
Hmm.
दैट्स व्हेन ऑल हर एक सेंटर के वॉलंटियर्स के साथ आई स्टार्टेड मीटिंग, लाइक पहले तो फोन के थ्रू, व्हाट्सएप मैसेजेस के थ्रू कांटेक्ट करना शुरू किया. एंड देन भूमि में हर एक साल ये अपॉर्चुनिटी आती है कि इफ यू कैन लीड, हाउ विल यू डू इट. सो बिफोर मी, आस्था वाज लीडिंग and Madhu was leading. So Madhu was a good friend, and then I got in touch with Madhu. So with Madhu and I, because we were good friends, we started working on it together on a lead level. That okay, चलो अब हम देखते हैं कि काम कैसे करते हैं. So initially, because I'm good with people, लाइक मैं फ्रेंड्स मेरे मतलब बहुत जल्दी बना लेती हूँ, तो वॉलंटियर्स के साथ मेरी बहुत अच्छी बॉन्डिंग होने लगी थी. किड्स के साथ आई आई थिंक बाय द टाइम आई टुक अप लीड रोल, आई वाज गुड विद किड्स, as in I can, you give me any class and I can teach, I can handle kids, is what I'm trying to say here. So उस टाइम पे ये था कि now Neha, you have mastered this part, now let's see how can I give more. So I met a lot of volunteers, and उनके साथ फिर we started focusing on the punctuality part.
Hmm. Hmm.
हर
Hmm.
एक वॉलंटियर के साथ कि लेट्स जस्ट मीट, वॉलंटियर बॉन्डिंग इतनी स्ट्रॉन्ग कर दो दैट इफ एट ऑल एट एनी पॉइंट somebody is missing, I will go and teach that class as a ad hoc teacher, but the class should not be cancelled.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
तो उससे हमें काफी इम्प्रूवमेंट मिली, एंड वी मेड अ गुड गुड स्पीक आउट का बहुत अच्छा एक ग्रुप हमने बनाया, और वो चीजें वर्कआउट भी की बहुत अच्छा. मतलब हमें रिजल्ट्स मिलने शुरू हो गए, हमारी क्लास कैंसिलेशन कम हो गई, बच्चे बहुत मतलब पॉजिटिव रिस्पॉन्स देने लगे, एंड थिंग्स वर गुड, लाइक एटलीस्ट फॉर 1.5 year. तो पहले मैंने एचआर का रोल लिया, एंड एचआर के रोल के बाद मधु हैड टू क्विट फॉर सम रीजन, शी वेंट फॉर सम फर्दर स्टडीज. So then I took up the project level role of speak up.
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
So that's how uh, lead the project came in my life within Bhumi. So वो
Yeah.
काम किया मैंने आई थिंक 1 year तक. उसके बाद फिर वही होता है ना, जब आप एक चीज पकड़ के कर रहे हो, एंड देन यू विल बी लाइक अच्छा नेक्स्ट क्या. Now if one project, the best project, is struggling like this, what is happening with the other projects, right? So yeah, that's when my hunger for doing more, digging more, figuring out अच्छा बाकियों में क्या चल रहा है, बाकी projects कैसा कर रहे हैं. And then I was also in touch with you guys when you guys were leading at that time. You guys were the national team, right? तो उसमें ये था कि अच्छा नेशनली टीम बच्चे कैसे परफॉर्म करें, नेशनली प्रॉब्लम क्या चल रही है, बाकी सिटीज में ऐसे कन्नड़ा कर्नाटका में प्रॉब्लम चल रही है लैंग्वेज की, या फिर दिल्ली पुणे मुंबई के बच्चे भी ऐसा ही फेस कर रहे हैं. तो वो क्यूरियोसिटी होती है ना, वो क्यूरियोसिटी की वजह से मेरा इंटरेस्ट बढ़ता गया कि लाइक अच्छा ठीक है. इट वाज नॉट लाइक कि मुझे मतलब लीड करना है ऐसा वैसा कुछ नहीं. इट वाज मोर लाइक कि अच्छा ठीक है ये प्रॉब्लम मैंने फिक्स कर ली, नाउ नेक्स्ट, नाउ आई अंडरस्टूड कि स्पीक आउट अच्छा होने लगा, कैन आई कंट्रीब्यूट टू अदर प्रोजेक्ट्स. तो दैट्स हाउ आई took up more and then I ended up with Ignite pura city level Bangalore. So yeah, that's how it happened.
Sort of your leadership stepping
Uh,
stone.
yeah, so I volunteered for 1 year. Then the lead Bhumi came. So Shrita and Roshan were previous leads, and I used to teach, and I used to try to teach in an innovative way. And Shrita just asked me, like, "Do you want to contribute towards the content or something?" I was like, "Yeah," because I kind of was good at the subjects what we were teaching, and I had prior experience on that. So I just took it up. Then what happened, like after joining, becoming a LB, I met like fellow LBs, especially Mrutula and Partha, who were like co-LBs for Yantra, and we bonded very well. So that was the time when, the motivation came automatically, like we had to do more, and we used to challenge ourselves. And also, once you become LB, before COVID, we used to meet up like regularly, all the LBs, or we used to hang out. So you kind of hear stories from other projects, and there was a LD competition between, and that's how made me continue the LB for another year. Uh,
Mm.
to like again, I supported the content, so it was like, as I previously told, it was healthy competition. Like if Kanini is pulling more volunteers to the project, Yantra was like, we have to take all the volunteers from Kanini because they know computers. We need these volunteers. So that kind of competition came. And towards the third year, I was like, I'll go back to volunteering. uh, I wanted like to go back to kids and teach. When you're a LB, you kind of can't go to one particular center. You keep on rotating within the centers, or like more monitor the other operations, right? I wanted to teach again. So I became like a shadow, and I was supporting the other volunteers, other LBs of the project. That's how the lead booming thing happened. And then COVID happened. I was asked like to lead the city like casually earlier. I was denying it. Then during COVID, our COVID helpline thing happened. So I met a lot of people, and I saw the opportunity. Like if you step up and take up bigger roles, you kind of have more learning, and you can contribute in a much bigger way to the city. Till then, I was contributing towards only one project, and when I step up, I can uh, at least contribute, or like get an idea of other volunteer leaders, what is their thinking and what's working for them. Can I implement it to the city? And Bharti and Vandana had a call with me, and they were like telling, "You have been with Bhumi for quite a long time. Like, why don't you consider?" Then I took up, and it was like from LB to ELTP, it's a good journey. And like Bhumi actually create leaders. It has a very nice framework, and even the people, it's not like authoritative or like your seniors, those who were previous year LBs or ELDP, they kind of support you throughout. So that's how it started. And currently I'm leading. I don't know what's the future, but
Yeah.
it's a very good thing.
Yeah, yeah. So just I'll take a moment for people who are not part of Bhumi listening to this conversation, that in Bhumi we have a leadership structural leadership model, which is LB, which is called Lead Bhumi, and Lead Bhumi is leading the project which you are right now part, or some other project. There's another upper level leadership, which is ELDP, which is Enhanced Leadership Development Program, where you get opportunities to lead projects and cities at as a whole, or project at a national level, and many other bigger roles where your capacity or your appetite of leading becomes much more higher. So yeah, that's these are the two major leadership pillars of Bhumi, where the leaders are evolved, nurtured, and also in many ways brought on the mainstream of leading from front. So moving to the next segment, next conversation, Saurav and Neha. What change do you see within yourself as a leader, right? Because as a volunteer, both of you have invested a good amount of 2 3 years as a volunteer, right? And then switching to leader. What are certain aspects you think that those have changed within yourself?
So, as a volunteer, you think about one class or something. As a leader, what
Hmm.
especially I would be sharing my experience. Like, I used to be not very vocal and all. Like, even though I was school president, I wasn't vocal. Like, I used to listen. I was a good listener. And when it comes to leadership thing, like volunteers come with lot of issues. Like, they want the solution right then. So what happened was like after meeting a lot of people, you kind of get a direction. Like if so and so person is coming with such kind of thing, like what could be possible a solution, or you are not giving the solution, you could at least give a direction to that volunteer. That's one thing. And one major thing what it has taught is discipline and time management. Like most of us are like part-time volunteering, but you have you have to also concentrate on your personal commitments, but also at the same
Yeah.
time the responsibilities what you have taken. So it kind of gives you a right balance, one thing. And as a leader, even the network what you build and conveying, like there will be things that you want to convey to the other team or you want to work with the other team. So that kind of becomes more stronger, and people skills and time management is.
Yeah. Yeah. Neha, in you?
Yeah, in me, I think I have started to listen to people. Like
Hmm.
earlier, my listening skills have so in general I talk a lot, right? But earlier I used to think, no, my ideas are good. I used to be confident. But after taking up the leadership role and working with the all top leaders within Bhumi, and the networking is of course a great thing. But when you meet same mindset people who are thinking like you, your the way you think or the way you execute or the way you find solution to a problem, it automatically opens a lot of doors. Because if you're meeting five people, they can give you five different solutions. So that part, definitely I see, that's something improved in me after taking up the leadership role. Networking, yes, definitely. And the basically it broadens your thinking. Earlier as a volunteer, if something is your needs are not met, like agar, like suppose class cancel हो गई, अगर तो you will be like एक class cancel on a volunteer level, you will just crib a lot. But when
Correct.
you have been given a if a volunteer is approaching you why the class is cancelled, then you will respond in a more authoritative way. Okay, because of this, let me arrange a backup class for you. Again, similarly, if you're taking a bigger role and the center person is approaching you, then your response will be different. Then you'll be more you'll be responding or giving the solution in a more politer way. So I
Hmm.
have understood कि ऑन जब हम बहुत काम कोई भी स्टार्ट करते हैं तो हम हमेशा क्रिप करते रहते हैं, रिपोर्ट करते रहते हैं, ये नहीं हो रहा, वो नहीं हो रहा, स्कूल में ये प्रॉब्लम चल रही है, ऐसा हो रहा है, वैसा हो रहा है. बट वो चीजों को जब आपको खुद उस कुर्सी पे बिठाया जाता है ना, then you understand that there are 100 things behind the doors, like behind the curtain. And आपको अब बैटल लर्नी है. अब आप कैसे करोगे, आप कैसे सोल्यूशन निकालोगे, आप सेंटर्स के पास जाओगे, उनको समझाओगे, आप चार और लोगों की काउंसलिंग करोगे, फिर वो क्लास होगी. राइट। और स्पेशली एनजीओ के साथ में कैसा होता है कि जो जितने भी अथॉरिटी वाले लोग होते हैं, राइट, उनको जितने मल्टीपल ऑफर्स आते हैं वो दे कीप एक्सेप्टिंग इट। अच्छा आप भी पढ़ा लो, आप भी पढ़ा लो, आप भी पढ़ा लो, आप भी पढ़ा लो, एवरीबडी, एंड देन इट बिकम्स, आई पर्सनली फील इट बिकम्स डिफिकल्ट फॉर द किड्स।
Correct.
एक साथ
Yeah.
में पूरे 24 घंटे बच्चे नहीं पढ़ सकते, राइट।
True.
तो
True.
ये सारी चीजें वॉलंटियर लेवल पे आपको सिर्फ ये इन्फॉर्मेशन मिलेगी कि भाई आज की क्लास कैंसिल हो गई है, नाउ यू कैन गो बैक। बट व्हेन
Hmm.
यू आर इन अ लीडर रोल, यू विल नो एवरीथिंग।
Correct.
तो मेरा
Correct.
वो थिंकिंग काफी चेंज हुआ। और ऑफ कोर्स आई वर्क विद गुड पीपल। मेरा नेटवर्किंग जो लीडर्स के साथ जो मैंने काम किया, और जो हमारी हमारी वर्कशॉप्स होती थी, और स्पेशली डॉग गना, इन लोगों के साथ डायरेक्ट वन ऑन वन कॉन्वर्जेशन स्टार्ट हुआ। तो इट वाज अ ग्रेट अपॉर्चुनिटी। मतलब पर्सनली मेरे लिए, हु इज समवन हु इज अ सीकर, ऑलवेज मुझे हर इंसान से मतलब कुछ ना कुछ सीखने का बहुत सही रहता है। लाइक ऑल द पीपल, रोबोटिक्स में इवन सौरभ, दीज गाइज आर सो स्मार्ट। हाउ? सो लाइक आई कीप लर्निंग। मतलब मुझे बहुत इंटरेस्ट रहता है कि हर एक बंदा इतना टैलेंटेड होता है। तो किसी किसी चीजों में लर्निंग, मेरा लर्निंग वाली भूख बहुत बढ़ गई कि हाँ ठीक है, हर एक इंसान से सीखो। एंड जहां से नहीं भी सीखने को मिल रहा है, जस्ट मेक अमेंड्स, बिकॉज दैट पर्सन इज गुड इन समथिंग, यू जस्ट नीड टू फिगर इट आउट।
Correct.
तो लेट्स जस्ट से कि सौरभ ने बोला कि ही इज नॉट वेरी टॉकेटिव, बट I admire you for your intelligence about robotics and all that. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm maybe a secret fan for robotics. So वो चीज मेरा काफी ब्रॉड हुआ। जितने मैंने भूमि में बहुत बहुत सारे फ्रेंड्स बनाए, तो मेरी नेटवर्किंग तो डेफिनेटली बहुत अच्छी हुई। तो
Nice.
या
Nice. Yeah.
पेशेंस,
And
पेशेंस की चीज है कि मतलब हमेशा एक होता है ना कि आप अपने आइडियाज को ही एग्जीक्यूट मत करो, दूसरों की भी सुनो, एंड देन probably see and then come to a common conclusion. So yeah.
yeah, I can 100% vouch for the patient part because I've closely worked with Neha and I know I know how patient she has become in last
Yeah.
few years. Moving on, one thing like in my last conversation with Pune, Sudeep and Shreya, right, that I was sharing that one thing I envy about Pune and Bangalore, both these cities are the friendship which are created in the cities, right? It's like I would say it's scaling, right? It's not just one or two or three or five people or 10 people, right? It's a group of 50, 60 people and who are closely bonded with each other. How do you guys do that, man? Right? What's the hack behind that?
You just have to be awesome, I feel. I think Bangalore people are awesome. वो एक चीज है जो कि आपको नहीं मिल सकती। बट अदरवाइज आई थिंक बैंगलोर में एक कल्चर बहुत ही ज्यादा, सबने, हम जितने भी लीड भूमि थे और जितने भी एलडीपी के कैंडिडेट्स थे, श्रिता, साहित्या, एनीबडी whoever led the city, even Vinod for that matter, Vinod worked in Bhumi.
Yeah, yeah,
So एक दूसरे की कॉल के लिए हमेशा अवेलेबल रहना, हमेशा इन्फॉर्मेटिव रहना, क्योंकि आई एम नॉट अवेलेबल फॉर दिस, कैन यू कवर मी अप। एक दूसरे को हमेशा इन्फॉर्म करके रहना कि चीजें खराब ना हो। जब भी हमारे पास बिगर टास्क आए, और ज्यादा मेहनत के साथ काम करना, और ज्यादा बॉन्डिंग उस टाइम पे रखना। तो ये सारे, और हमेशा मिलते रहना। हम बैंगलोर टीम का एक चीज हमेशा से अच्छा था कि हम मिलते बहुत थे, सारी की सारी पूरी पूरी टीम। हमारी मीटिंग्स बहुत होती थी भूमि ऑफिस में, या फिर वी यूज्ड टू जस्ट रैंडमली मीट फॉर एनी इवेंट। तो बिकॉज ऑफ दैट, बिकॉज आप डेली बेसिस पे मिल रहे हो, आप अच्छे फ्रेंड्स बन रहे हैं, एंड देन एक दूसरे के स्केड्यूल को बहुत अच्छी अच्छी तरह से समझ रहे हो, एंड एक दूसरे के आइडियाज को बहुत वेलकम कर रहे हो। देयर इज नो ग्रज और देयर इज नो कंपटीशन। हाँ, डेफिनेटली देयर इज दिस थिंग कि हाँ, इफ लेट्स से Saurabh is leading Yantra, and if his project is doing good, then me being a speak out person, I should understand, okay, what other thing that they're doing, and you know, which is working out for their project. So वो एक competitive way में चीजें बहुत अच्छी होती गई। एंड बाकी सारी अवेलेबिलिटी भी, सेंटर्स भी काफी सही थे बैंगलोर में। तो काफी सारे प्लस पॉइंट्स होने के बाद आई थिंक या वॉलंटियर बॉन्डिंग इज व्हाट वर्क फॉर बैंगलोर। And I
Yeah.
think these guys are continuing, which is very great, even though they are doing it virtually. But kudos to the new batch which is currently leading. Very good. मतलब Saurabh, Bharati, Vandana, all these people are like, सी एनर्जी होना एक अलग बात है, बट सपोज करो कि आपकी टीम में अगर चार लोग हैं जिनको एनर्जी नहीं, उनको भी खींच के लाना भी एक बहुत बड़ा टास्क है. तो दीज गाइज आर
Yeah.
डूइंग दैट विच इज गुड. तो
True.
वो एक
True.
चीज वो एक चीज बैंगलोर में है. बैंगलोर हमेशा लीड करता है. सो नो
Yeah, I guess
वरीज.
you missed Nakshatra meetings. Like,
यस,
yeah,
yes, I think yes.
that's where
Yeah,
I
Saurabh
met
ने,
Neha in Nakshatra. Yeah,
इवन या
Hmm.
आई थिंक वी फर्स्ट मेट इन नक्षत्रा. बट सौरभ ने एक बहुत अच्छी चीज दिखाई कि बैंगलोर का जो नक्षत्रा होता था, तो दैट वाज, आई थिंक दैट यूज्ड टू बी द पीक इवेंट ऑफ थ्रू आउट द ईयर.
Hmm.
उस एक इवेंट में आपको वो वॉलंटियर्स भी दिखते थे जो क्लासेस में रेगुलर नहीं होते थे, बट वो नक्षत्रा के टाइम पे बहुत शिद्दत से काम करते थे. तो एक एक वो भी रीजन था कि हाँ, एटलीस्ट दिस पर्सन हैज द इंटेंट ऑफ वॉलंटियरिंग और गिविंग बैक. दे आर इमोशनली कनेक्टेड टू द स्टूडेंट्स. इट्स जस्ट दैट
Hmm.
क्लासेस में रेगुलर नहीं है, बट इट्स ओके. मतलब एटलीस्ट इमोशनल कनेक्शन तो बच्चों के साथ है. तो वो एक बहुत ही अच्छा एक्सपीरियंस था मेरे साइड से भी. थैंक यू सौरभ फॉर रिमाइंडिंग मी नक्षत्रा.
yeah,
Yeah. And Sarah, would you like to add anything on the hacks part?
yeah. So uh, it's mainly like it was offline, one thing, and Bangalore has lot of places to hang out. Like after classes, you go out, or Nakshatra meet, especially Nakshatra, if it's happening like in Jan or something, the meetings used to start in November and every Sunday meetings. So you're meeting for 1.5 hour, then you go out. It used to happen in Kormangla, and you know Kormangla in Bangalore. Everyone goes out after the meeting, so the bonding used to happen. And one more thing is like Bangalore is a mixed crowd. It's not like
Yeah.
you have one
Yeah.
sector of people. You have people, professionals from IT, you have professionals from different sector, you have students. So it kind of becomes like, I was a student and there were uh, co-volunteers who were like working that time. So I I can reach out to them for anything, right? And it kind of becomes your vast friend circle. If you are in your work, you get same type of people. If you are in college, you get same type of people. But in Bhumi, it gave us variety of people and
Yeah.
lot
Yeah.
of opportunity to understand them or hang out for say like. And if anyone is free, they just call. And someone's birthday, we used to just go out.
True.
Yeah,
True. True.
virtually it has been difficult, but we still try to be connected.
Yeah. Yeah. Virtual. It's really difficult. I can agree to that.
Yeah,
Uh,
virtually I guess we connected throughout India during COVID thing.
yeah. That's a different story, and it can be covered in a very different way, Saurabh.
I think it's my bad luck that when it started, like when COVID came, I enrolled for the master's program, and that's when I had to kind of disconnect. So I was part of the ELDP selection process for 2020, and then I got just busy. Like I couldn't contribute, but then I see that the so I keep following people. All these people I follow, silent follower. So they're doing pretty well. I'm so happy. And if at all classes resumes, I think I will be going back to like reset and restart, right? So I'll be going back to volunteering phase because it's been time. And I think because of these 2 years of virtual work, I have kind of lost that वो एक होता है ना कि बच्चों को मिलना जरूरी है अभी, लाइक कनेक्ट होना उनसे बहुत जरूरी है, बिकॉज बच्चे भी ऑनलाइन पढ़ पढ़ के भी बोर हो गए. दे हैव बिकम टेकी. इंटरनेट फिक्स करना, मोबाइल चलाना हर बच्चे को आता है आजकल.
True. True.
तो
That.
yeah, I'll go back to the
Yeah.
groundwork.
Yeah. So, what Saurav also bought was different variety of people, right? And as a leader, you just don't connect with your city people or your project people. It's across India, and how is that experience, and what are your learnings from that experience? Like the diversity of thought, the diversity of experience, the diversity of perspective. How? what has that brought to you and on the table as a leader?
Yeah, so when I was volunteered, like you don't get the transparency, right? Like you know that particular project, but once you step up, you kind of understand what's working for other cities, and you start looking at patterns. Like, is are we going the same thing? And also, Bhumi as uh, change drivers, like the employees, and you kind of get their perspective. Like, why do they insist us to do? Like, always they'll be like data, data. As a volunteer, you'll be like, why do I need to give data? I'm just going once in 1 week. What impact it's making? But once you become a leader, you will kind of see like everything
Mhm.
what's there in the process is for something for the it would be either good for the development of the city or like to take some key decisions. And like when you speak to other leaders, if your pain point, they would have already faced it, and you'll get solution from them. So
Yeah,
that kind of is good thing. And it also like the brainstorming, maybe like uh, they don't have the solution, it's fine, but everyone is there to help. And especially now as leader, I have different in different cities, I have different friends. If there's orientation, we don't get volunteers from Bangalore, it's online, so we just pull in from other cities. So that kind of you know bonding with the leaders, and even their perspective, good practices, all that comes into picture. And directly you're working with like co-founders of Bhumi and even the employees. So that gives you other perspective, like our NGO works and what are the challenges. Like we just do our thing, we complain and we go. But what are the things they have to face later, or how do they address it?
yeah. And Neha?
Yeah, for me, I think the what worked for me is like working with the variety of people. Okay, as a human, we always find a comfort zone. We always find कि हमें हमारे तरह के लोग मिल जाएं and then उनके साथ हम काम कर लेंगे. But when you meet people who are coming from different background, different mindset, different language, and again different थॉट प्रोसेस, सो वो मेरे लिए काफ़ी अच्छा एक एक्सपीरियंस रहा डिफरेंट डिफरेंट सिटीज़ के साथ काम कर. इवन नॉट बिकॉज मेरे लिए एक लर्निंग एक्सपीरियंस था, ऑल्सो बिकॉज कभी हमारी सिटीज़ में अगर कोई प्रॉब्लम्स हैं एंड इफ वी आर डिस्कसिंग इट इन अ ओपन फोरम, सो हमें उस पर मल्टीपल रिस्पॉन्सेज मिलना कि अच्छा ये चीज़ें मेरी सिटी में वर्कआउट की है, कैन यू ट्राई इट इन योर सिटी. इट मे वर्क, इट
Hmm.
मे नॉट वर्क बिकॉज ऑफ द ऑफ कोर्स द अदर थिंग्स लाइक डेमोग्राफिक्स और जो भी चीज़ें हैं, लाइक. एंड other thing which Saurabh said, I agree to it. किसी भी चीज का अगर आप एक सिर्फ जो डेटा की बात कही सौरभ ने, आई टोटली अग्री टू इट. किसी भी सब्जेक्ट का, फॉर एग्जाम्पल हाउ इज इट परफॉर्मिंग इन बैंगलोर एंड हाउ इज इट परफॉर्मिंग इन चेन्नई, उसका पूरा एक बोलते हैं ना कि एक रिपोर्ट बनाने के लिए और एक डिफरेंस देखने के लिए, वी नीड द डेटा फ्रॉम ऑल डिफरेंट sort of cities to check ki how it is working, what is working out for them, what is the high points from for which worked for the city, let's say Mumbai or any other city, and what Bangalore can adopt, or what Bangalore has best and the Mumbai can adopt.
Correct, correct.
Likewise with other cities. So उस पर्सपेक्टिव में हमें बहुत अपॉर्चुनिटीज मिली काम करने के लिए, क्योंकि लेट्स से बैंगलोर में, बैंगलोर आई थिंक व्हेन आई वाज इन ईएलडीपी रोल, बैंगलोर में सबसे ज्यादा बच्चे थे और सबसे ज्यादा वॉलंटियर भी थे, एक्टिव वॉलंटियर्स और
Yeah, yeah.
एक्टिव किड्स उस टाइम पे. तो आई वर्क विद आई थिंक मोर देन 250 volunteers I was in touch with. I had their numbers saved. ओके, तो वो एक कॉन्टेक्ट होना अलग बात है. अपार्ट फ्रॉम इट आई यूज्ड टू कनेक्ट विद यू गाइज एंड देन द डिफरेंट सिटी लीड्स. So it was
Hmm.
a very great, very vague experience for me. Like हर
Hmm.
किसी की learning से, like अभी like you said कि you have been talking to 5 cities so far, right? 5 city leaders से contact किया. तो वो एक्सपीरियंसेस प्लस गना और डॉग और वाइश के एक्सपीरियंसेस सुनना, फिर वो कम्युनिटी की चीजें जो भूमि में है वहां के एक्सपीरियंसेस सुनना. सो you automatically become a problem solver. आप
Yeah,
इतनी सारी
yeah,
better solutions सुन लेते हो कि you automatically become a problem solver, and that was the good thing which worked out for me. Other, and also one thing worked out for me was at a Saurabh, or even I think AK, you would relate to it. We were doing so many things: job, personal life, meeting with volunteers, teaching, attending the calls. We were like busy throughout the day. एक कभी भी हमारे पास ऐसा नहीं, और कभी भी क्रिप नहीं करती थी कि हम इतना क्यों बिजी है. It
correct.
was like good, great time at that time. So yeah, I enjoyed thoroughly. I enjoyed. So मेरे
Yeah,
लिए तो मतलब पर्सनालिटी काफी इम्प्रूव हुई. जितने भी लोग हैं, मैं अभी भी सीखती हूँ सबसे, सबके टच में हूँ. Everybody is doing great in life. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And do you want to give any shout out to people who have inspired you or motivated you in this entire journey of your leadership and volunteering? Both
You
of
want
you.
me to name people?
Yeah, it would be great. You can just shout out to make some shout out
Name,
to them.
if I have to, so okay, my friends for sure, जहाँ से मैंने start किया, मधु was my first friend. Then of course आस्था, आस्था के साथ मैंने speak out शुरू किया. And उसके बाद और भी friends बने, अभिजीत, and then later प्रियंका, और भी बीच में अनुभव. सारे बहुत बहुत फ्रेंड्स का नाम तो लूंगी तो शायद लाइन लंबी हो जाएगी, बट बहुत सारे फ्रेंड्स बनाए मैंने, अच्छे फ्रेंड्स बनाए. एंड डिफरेंट डिफरेंट एरियाज में अगर आप जाओ तो, रिफ्रेश में अगर आप जाओ तो आप, विगी है, आस्था एंड अथिरा, वो पूरा एक ग्रुप. ठीक है. तो फ्रेंड्स काफी बने. लर्निंग वाइज मेरी जो मैक्सिमम लर्निंग हुई है, आई थिंक इन माय एलडीपी टाइम में, आई वुड से श्रीथा.
Yeah, yeah,
बिकॉज श्रीथा ने मुझे काफी टॉलरेट किया. एंड साहित्या, डेफिनेटली,
yeah,
बिकॉज साहित्या ने मुझे काफी पुश किया कि तुम ये रोल लो, बिकॉज यू आर केपेबल ऑफ. तो लर्निंग एक्सपीरियंस मेरे उस टाइम पे बहुत अच्छे हुए. प्रियंका एक मेरी वॉलंटियर फ्रेंड है, जिससे मैंने काफी कुछ सीखा. तो जो स्पीक आउट में, शी वाज अ,
yeah,
या कोच, तो उससे मैंने काफी कुछ सीखा. एंड ऑफ कोर्स गना, गना was definitely a part. जब गना के साथ you work, you automatically all your brain cells starts working when you work with gana.
yeah,
So
yeah,
definitely गना, वाइश, I would say. वाइश के साथ मेरा एक ELDP वर्कशॉप में she was my partner. तो उस टाइम पे मेरा इंटरेक्शन बहुत हुआ, एंड आई लर्न लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स. तो वो है. एंड बाकी बिट्स एंड पीसेस में एवरीबडी, यू गाइज ऑल्सो, लाइक यू
yeah,
गाइज मोटिवेटेड मी कि आप 24 घंटे भी काम कर सकते हो. लाइक यू गाइज टुक वॉलंटियरिंग एज लाइक अ कंप्लीट डेडिकेटेड फुल टाइम वर्क. तो या वही है कि मेरे लिए हमेशा यही था कि आप अच्छे लोगों के साथ काम कर रहे हो, तो ऑफ कोर्स यू ऑल्सो हैव टू बी द अच्छा पर्सन. राइट. मेरे साथ हमेशा वो, you can't be the underperformer when you're working with good people. So yeah, but yeah, if I have to take learning names, then I would say Shrita and Sahitya and Priyanka, three ladies.
yeah. Saurav?
Yeah, it was again Shrita for me. Like she was a project coordinator when I started volunteering. Then when I was LB, she was the ELDP. So she has been like very calm and like a pro. She's like example of a perfect leader. She is very calm and she listens to you. And Nakshatra again, it was Neha first I interacted with, and with Neha, I was like, she was so dedicated and, you know, like speaking to everyone. Anyone comes, there were like more than 150 volunteers in Nakshatra in that D-Day meeting, and she spoke to everyone. And she texted everyone at 4:30 a.m. I was like, how can a person do so early morning? Like that was, and it was a starting phase of my volunteering. So that was inspiring. And Parth and Mridula, obviously, like
Mm,
they have been with me during my LP, and also still they are my like good friends every week. They are in different countries, but we have like conversation, anything we have in our personal lives also we share it, that thing. These people are in the initial phase, and currently like fellow ELDPs, like everyone is inspiring, like everyone is busy with their personal thing and
Saurabh,
those.
yeah, yeah, okay, okay.
Yeah,
Thanks, Saurabh. Thanks, Neha. I'd also like to make shout out because I have also been connected with Bangalore as a city for a good time as a national level support member. So, Shrita and Sahitya, major two shout outs to both of you that in many ways what Bangalore is today is because of your hard work, a core work, and what to say, the foundation was laid by you guys in not little foundation, but in many ways nurturing that foundation, nurturing that space of building more volunteers, giving them confidence. So Smita and Sahitya, like, and also both of them are like chalk and cheese player, right? Both of them are like made for each other type people that at times both play good cop, bad cop. At times both play very good cops. So yeah, Sita and Sahitya, Madhu, Astha, Priyanka, Parth, Bharti. In many ways, one person I think we should not miss is Harish as well, right? For
yeah,
building what
Oh
Bangalore is
yeah.
with his energy,
Bangalore.
right?
Yes, Harish is definitely Harish is definitely
Yeah,
somewhere you have to learn that guy comes with a lot of energy. It's
Yeah,
definitely
yeah,
working with Harish
and you'll see
itself
him
is
in
a good.
all the events.
Yeah.
yeah.
Nobody can match his energy. So
That's it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
true, true. No one can. So yeah, that's the shout out section. Thanks, Saurabh. Thanks, Neha, for uh, bringing out few memories for me, and I'm very much sure gonna text few of them and just ping them, say that hey, how are you, and do a small check-in with them. So thanks for bringing those name up. Moving on. Now this is one of my favorite segment is about the city, right? Please let us know. Please let all the people know who is yet to visit Bangalore. What are the certain places they should not miss visiting?
they should not miss visiting.
Yeah.
Hmm.
if you're a biryani lover, Meghna's, you should
Oh yeah.
not miss Meghna's.
Yeah. So I will not say those places जहाँ पे मतलब वो इंटरनेट पे ऑलरेडी है मतलब नंदी हिल्स है ये सब तो हर कोई जाएगा ही जाएगा but हाँ can I will tell you all the मतलब just ping me contact me if you are a tea lover and if you just want good teas in Bangalore just contact me I will take you there if I am in Bangalore I'll take you to all the places जहाँ पे अच्छी चाय मिल जाएगी आपको and you'll be like fresh uh, बिरयानी यस आई वाज अ बिग बिरयानी लवर मतलब यहाँ पे तो मुझे वैसी बिरयानी मिलती नहीं है तो या मेघना एम्पायर आई थिंक आई हैव हैड बिरयानी फ्रॉम ऑल द प्लेसेस एंड शवरमा खाना मत भूलना एम्पायर के शवरमा जरूर खाना और एक ईरानी चाय मिलती है बैंगलोर में आपको छोटी छोटी प्लेसेस पे मिल जाएगी कब कहीं भी आप कहीं पे भी पी सकते हो तो वो बहुत अच्छी मिलती है यू ऑलवेज हैव इट घूमने फिरने के लिए देर आर लॉट्स एंड लॉट्स ऑफ प्लेसेस हैंग आउट प्लेसेस तो बहुत ही है बैंगलोर में तो लोकेशन वाइज भी आप जा सकते हो बट आई थिंक हब इज कोरमंगला आप अगर आपको दूसरा प्लेस चूज करना है तो आप HSR में भी आजकल हैंग आउट कर सकते हो एंड अदरवाइज आप और थोड़ा सा दूर जाना चाहते हो तो आप इंदिरा नगर जा सकते हो ये सारे
Hmm.
तीन तीन स्पॉट जहाँ पे आप हॉपिंग कर सकते हो मतलब आप एक जगह से दूसरी जगह से तीसरी जगह विद इन वॉकिंग डिस्टेंस आप पूरी नाइट भी स्पेंड कर लोगे हाँ बट नॉट इन कोविड टाइम्स लेटर जब चीजें ठीक हो जाए तो आप कर सकते हो और जहाँ पे हमारी वर्कशॉप होती थी वो प्लेस भी बहुत अच्छा था वहां पे विजिट कर सकते हैं इफ यू वांट सम मी टाइम मतलब पीस चाहिए तो वहां पे आप जा सकते हो इट वाज रियली गुड और ट्रैक प्लेसेस बहुत अच्छे हैं हमारा वॉलंटियरिंग ग्रुप काफी जाता था हम ट्रैकिंग करने तो ट्रैक वगैरह कर सकते हो मतलब बैंगलोर की ट्रैफिक में टाइम स्पेंड करने से तो बेटर है कि आप थोड़ा सा घूमो सिटी को एक्सप्लोर करो खाना पैक कर लो अपने कैब में और अपने व्हीकल में एंड देन जस्ट लाइक गो एवरीवेयर otherwise everything is good yeah I miss idli dosas मतलब मिलता है यहाँ पे भी बट वो फील नहीं है ना यहाँ पे, तो आई मिस इट. तो whenever you are in Bangalore, please just eat वहाँ का food and not just take अपनी memories वहाँ पे.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sarah, anything you would like to add?
Yeah, obviously everyone knows the pubs of Bangalore. One is that, and if you are in Bangalore on Sunday, Kabban Park, early morning Kabban Park on Sunday
Yeah.
is really good. And there are like, as Neha mentioned, small treks nearby which are good. There are like few hidden things, like little outskirts, but worth going. And yeah, I guess mainly the biryani of the Bangalore are good. Like you get all variety of biryani.
That's it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Neha is a big chai holic, I would say.
Very much.
So anyone who like to who is in Bangalore or right now in Kanpur, please ping Neha and
Yes,
please.
anytime, anytime. Anybody who wants to have tea can ping me, and
Yeah,
I'm like, because with you I'll also get to drink. So yeah, of course.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. So this brings to the last part of the conversation. Uh, I know there are like as a country that we have not even capitalized on our youth or our citizen as volunteering, right? As volunteer, and our organization mission is also every Indian volunteering and making volunteering a national habit. So what is that one piece of advice you would like to give to an individual who would love to start their volunteering journey?
It's not like once you start volunteering, in the initial phase, you shouldn't be like tomorrow you'll get the change, right? Like it's like a continuous process and a time-consuming process, and so it can be demotivating at times. But volunteering is something which you shouldn't quit just because it didn't work out for like 1 year or like 2, 3 months. You didn't find the result, but you should try working towards it rather than complaining or like just quitting.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I would also say if you have time right now, if you're not too busy, if you're not too busy in your personal life, if you have, even if you are busy, find some time for, for something which is not related to your daily schedule. Just give back to the society, because later you get the benefits of it. When you meet people, when you're sitting alone and you're meeting only your few set of friends, you will never be able to develop yourself. So for, not just because you want to teach and you're doing something for the kids, no, don't go with that mindset. Go with that mindset that it is going to benefit you. For your own personality development, you should go out and volunteer, because it's where you are not expecting anything in return and you are doing something for the society. So it doesn't matter how big or small contributions are, you will feel good. Mentally,
Hmm.
you will feel good. And it is not, I'm just saying it, I have personally felt it, and it is an ongoing thing. Whenever, even today, if I have, like, because of COVID restrictions, I'm not going. But even the younger people who are in school, you guys are learning. It's the right time when you can give back. You can teach very well at that particular time, because later in life you never know when you will have no time, right? So
Nice.
I am very happy I started early, and I will also request everybody to at least experience it once, because then you will at least realize which area you want to focus on. If, like I said,
That's
I'm not medically fit to go get into the medical domain to, do the run work, right? Groundwork, I'm not good at it. But yeah, teaching is something that I can do. Cleanup drive, I might not be able to do, but maybe planting is something that I can help. So figure out what you want to collaborate, where you want to focus, and just get it, just go experience it.
true. True. Okay, wonderful. This brings to end of our conversation. Thank you so much, Saurabh. Thank you so much, Neha, for being honest, for sharing your heart out and sharing your journey with all of us. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, AK, for bringing
Thank you,
all
AK.
those memories back. Because of COVID, it was like somehow I was forgetting it. But thank you so much for bringing it back. I think I'm going back to reconnect with all these people to figure out if I can help in some way. But yeah, thank you so much, and it was really really nice connecting with Bhumi people because I was just following back a silent like a silent follower. But today I spoke to you guys. It felt really good. So thank you, AK, for bringing this platform, and you're doing really well. And it's been quite some time, and your dedication is still intact, which is a good thing. So yeah, you are inspiring a lot of people. So great, kudos to your channel, and we would like to hear a lot of stories in future.
Sure, sure. Thanks, Neha, for your kind words. Yeah,
Yeah, thank you, AK. It was like refreshing, and I've seen the previous videos too. It's nice to hear experiences of other volunteers and other organization people.
yeah. Thank you so much, Saurabh. Thank you.
Give me freedom, give me fire, give me reason, take me higher.